Weapons were as essential an attribute for gangsters in the 1990s as a prestigious car, a crimson jacket, or a mobile phone. With the help of weapons, gangsters in the 90s killed their enemies and competitors. It was with weapons in their hands that they gained money and power, showing everyone that their time had come and that they were ready to take everything they needed here and now, without unnecessary questions. Gentlemen in sports suits. Athletes who became pioneers in a new type of organized crime did not use weapons. If they could not resolve disputes with competitors peacefully, they resorted to fisticuffs. They brought with them a certain code from sports, which they used at first. You cannot finish off an opponent lying on the ground. You cannot beat one person with a crowd. These were the rules they followed when they proved their superiority by force in the wasteland. This nobility did not last long. Soon, cold weapons, pieces of water pipes and rebar, came to the aid of the iron muscles pumped up in the basement gym. These were classics of the genre. They also used tire irons and chains, especially chains from chainsaws, which were formidable weapons in skilled hands. Large wrenches and other tools suitable for fighting were no less popular. Caucasian organized crime groups, paying tribute to their traditions, often used large knives. For example, members of the Lazinskaya organized crime group continued to destroy their enemies with knives, even when they had an impressive arsenal of firearms. 5. Four ducks. It was with this magical phrase that many novice bandits armed themselves with their first firearm. There were other ways. After a short time working with a hacksaw, the stock and part of the barrel were sawed off. The sawed-off shotgun, a weapon of all times and peoples. The classic sawed-off shotgun has a barrel length of 25 to 35 centimeters, but there were also more compact models. A sawed-off shotgun has great lethality at close range, is cheap and easy to acquire, reliable, and ammunition is readily available. Interesting facts: in Tolyatti, in the early 90s, the first contract killings were carried out with sawed-off hunting rifles. Many who, for whatever reason, could not obtain factory-made weapons followed in the footsteps of the famous Tolstoy-Piatovi brothers gang and made their own weapons, but more often than not, these were made by skilled craftsmen working in factories. Unemployment and months of delayed wages forced many workers to turn to crime, making revolvers, pistols, pen guns, and even submachine guns on factory machines. Most often, weapons were made for .22 caliber cartridges, better known as small arms, or for PM or TT cartridges. In the 1990s, gas weapons were also often converted to fire live ammunition. The advantage of this conversion was that gas pistols or revolvers were easy to buy. They were sold under the counter or from folding tables at any market. Turkish models were distinguished by their low price and equally low quality. The disadvantage of such a conversion was its low durability due to the fragile material from which the gas weapon was made. This submachine gun was highly rated by experts. It was manufactured at the Arsenal factory in Kiev in the early 1990s. It had a rifled barrel, a selector switch for single and automatic fire, a rate of fire reducer, a comfortable stock, and a fairly effective silencer. Interesting fact: in the film Brat, which can safely be considered a cult classic, Danila Bagrov takes a homemade .22 caliber revolver from a street thug. He uses it to carry out a contract killing, using a homemade silencer. Echoes of war. In many large cities where organized crime was present, there was at least one such archaeologist. He often worked legally, conducting excavations on battlefields from the war, extracting exhibits for museums from the bowels of the earth. More or less decent weapons were sent to a workshop, where they were restored to working order whenever possible. Gangsters who couldn't afford to buy something newer and, more importantly, more reliable, armed themselves with dug-up PPSH, PPS MP-40, and other weapons.